Hey, Screaming Geek Media here. I am Jerry the Geek. Today's discussion, we're going to talk about about upgrading titles in your collection. But before we do, if you like physical media, home theater, movies in general, please check out my other videos on my channel. Like, subscribe, and turn your bell notifications on. So we're going to talk about the topic of upgrading movies in your collection. See if we can get through this. I didn't really do any prep work. I don't have any notes. I'm just gonna spitball it. See if we can get through this. It's gonna be a little bit of a quick discussion, hopefully. I originally was gonna, center this around upgrading from Blu-ray to 4K because 4K is a hot new format out there, and people are wanting to, ideas on what, doing or double and triple dipping from these different formats. But I started I didn't want to exclude other formats as well, because I'm thinking, there's stuff out there, people still collect DVDs and the Blu-ray, so I didn't want to confine myself, so I thought I'd talk about all of them, and pros and cons, what my thoughts are, and definitely would like to hear your thoughts, comment below what you think about some of this. When I originally thought about doing this video, it was just about Blu-ray to 4K, and it was mainly about Disney and animated. Because in my mind, a lot of the freaking Disney animation looks spectacular on Blu-ray. And I just think the differences from there to 4K are very minimal. I think I've only got one of their animated classics I bought on 4K, and that was The Lion King, the original. I think it's a waste, in my opinion, it's a waste of money upgrading all your Disney classics to 4K, especially the Pixar's. Watching Toy Stories I watched recently and WALL-E, they look freaking phenomenal on Blu-ray. I don't see the need for 4K. I mean, some of you might think I'm crazy. I mean, sure, there are probably a little bit upticks in the details or colors or whatever, but they look fucking great. Why fix what ain't broken? The only ones I might consider is maybe some of the old classics. Maybe like the Cinderella, supposedly it's coming out to 4K. There might, those old classics probably are room for improvement. Even though, Blu-rays do look good, but you probably could. So I can see maybe double dipping on the older classics, but I think just newer titles and Pixar, I just did not see the need in it. And even other anime like DreamWorks, I have the Shrek collection on Blu-ray, and so far 2 of them have come out on 4K. I don't know, I think they look pretty good as they are. I doubt I'll buy them on 4K. Same with How to Train Your Dragon. I don't see the need of upgrading because, again, the Blu-rays look good enough. I just, when it comes to animation, I just don't see the need for it. Now, if I don't own it, I'd probably be willing to spend a couple extra dollars for the 4K, but if I already own it, I just think it'd be a waste, especially since I have a hard time trying to sell movies, and you have to take them to a store that, do a trade-in or whatnot, like half-price books, and they don't give you a squat for movies, but you take what you can get. So like I said, that's what sparked my interest in doing this video. But I decided to talk about, say, like TV shows and things that are on DVD that they're putting back out on Blu-ray. Now, these old TV shows, do we need it in Blu-ray? Is there much of a difference? Some recent ones that I have on DVD that have been reissued on Blu-ray is like the Incredible Hulk series. I think the A-Team is out on Blu-ray. Stargate, SG-1, and now they just announced Cheers coming out on Blu-ray, which I'm a big Cheers fanboy. I binge watch that series every couple years. I would be tempted, but not that. I think right now it's looking at like $150, $160. I have to wait and see if there's anything extra with it. And these old TV shows, especially the sitcoms, I don't see the need for a high def version. Maybe it's just me. Please let me know what you think, because it's nice to hear what other people think on the subjects. and others, old, like, MacGyver, Different Strokes. I've got a lot of older shows on DVD that I doubt I'll ever buy on Blu-ray. As far as my Blu-ray TV shows, I've got Fringe and Grimm. And I think the reason I picked those up on Blu-ray was because at the time I found copies cheaper on Blu-ray than DVD, so I picked them up. Some shows like that might be, I could see going with the newer format. Games of Thrones. I've watched some of it on the DVD. It looks fairly good. Price point, I got all the seasons for $10 or less, a piece. I just don't see the need of, spending extra money on Blu-ray. Now, I did spend the new Halo series. I did buy the 4K. I got a good deal on it because when it first came out, the prices were over $50. I think $55 to $57 for the 4Ks. I don't see the need of paying that much for a 9-episode season. I watched it on streaming first. I loved it. It looked phenomenal. So I think with that, I was willing to spend an extra few bucks to get the 4K over the Blu-ray for Halo. And I think I got the set for, I want to say, 35 or 40 tops. I can't remember exactly, but when it dropped down, I thought it was kind of worth it, and I pulled the trigger. But yeah, all these older TV shows, they put them back out on Blu-ray. It's like, my question is, are they actually better? Have there been any work done to them? Because a lot of times the sources for this old stuff is really bad. I read all kinds of reviews on Stargate SG-1 when it came out on Blu-ray, and everybody said it, looks like shit, it's not worth the money, so I never upgraded. The box set looks really cool. If it ever had a big-ass sale, I'd probably consider it. Because Cheers and Stargate Stargate SG-1 are definitely my two favorite shows of all time. I could binge watch those anytime. I love them. And Stargate Atlantis being a newer series. The quality of it's actually really good. But I don't see any of the Blu-ray. I'll just stick with the DVD for the moment. But yeah, for TV shows, I'm going to continue buying most of them on DVD. I just don't see the need unless it's like a special action, something that I want to look better. I'm recently in the middle of I just got in season 2 of Supernatural. I inherited that whole entire series after my brother's passing. So that one probably would be better on Blu-ray, but considering I didn't buy it, it was free. I'll probably just stick with the DVD. I know so far it hasn't looked the greatest, but I'm content with it. It's fine for now. But yeah, for your newer shows, even brand new movies, the differences between Blu-ray and 4K are very minimal, unless they screw up the DVD. One, for example, Jeff over at Films at Home, when he did a review on Godzilla, he talked about the 4K and the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray was really bad because a lot of scenes were too dark and hard to see, and just didn't have a lot to go in for it. And then when it came out with the 4K, and I agree with that because I had a copy on Blu-ray, and I never really liked the movie because it was just too dark. I just couldn't get into it. But once the 4K came out, it just seems like they fixed those issues, and it was phenomenal. I loved the movie finally. So yeah, there I can see where if a Blu-ray is screwed up, if it's a bad transfer, I can see upgrading. But there's so many out there. I'm more picky. I think all of us, when 4K came out, we jump on a bandwagon. It's all on 4K. It's going to be better. It's going to blow everything out of the water. I was doing that as well, but over time I started seeing some of them were not a big improvement, so I started being a little bit more picky. Especially if you have a budget, you really got to think about what you're spending. It's the older movies that are being remastered, put on 4K. That's where your money's at. I just recently got picked up the original Smokey and the Bandit on 4K. I'll be doing a review of that within the next few days. It looked phenomenal. I loved it. So these old classic movies are spectacular on 4K. So that pretty much does it. You know, I just want to do this. I'm not sure, probably rambled on a little bit, but I just wanted to get a little discussion about upgrading from DVD to Blu-ray or Blu-ray to 4K. Please let me know what your thoughts on the subject is. You know, what are your habits? What you consider, you know, buying, upgrading? Comment in the section below. You know, let me know what you think. Check out my other videos on my channel. Like, subscribe, and turn your bell notifications on. And we'll see you soon. Geek out.